Welcome back to Everyday English with Johnny, the podcast where we learn English through powerful storytelling. Today's episode is something special. It's about forbidden feelings, unexpected connection, and the quiet ache of loneliness. You'll hear the voice of Laura, a 30-year-old art teacher whose heart was closed until someone walked into her classroom and changed everything. As you listen, focus not only on the story, but on how English flows in real emotions, how hesitation sounds, how attraction is expressed, how inner conflict is described in natural phrases. Whether you're here to improve your listening, expand your vocabulary, or just feel something real, this story is for you. Let's begin.
My name is Laura. I am 30 years old. I live in a small town called Blue Haven, where the streets are lined with old oak trees and the air smells of fresh flowers. I am a teacher at a local community college, teaching art to young adults. My life was simple and quiet. I loved my job, painting colorful pictures with my students and helping them find their creativity. But my heart was closed. A few years ago, my last relationship ended in tears. He lied to me, broke my trust, and left me feeling empty. I decided love was not for me anymore. I told myself, focus on teaching, focus on art, no more love. That was my plan, and I stuck to it. Until I met Ethan. Ethan was a student in my art class. He was 21, with dark curly hair and bright green eyes that seemed to see everything. He was quiet but thoughtful, always sketching in his notebook. From the first day of class, I noticed him. He sat near the window, drawing with focus, his pencil moving like it was part of him. I tried to ignore the feeling in my chest when I saw him. He's just a student, I told myself. Stay professional, Laura. But my heart didn't listen. Every morning, Ethan arrived early. He set up his easel carefully and smiled at me when I walked in. "Good morning, Miss Laura," he said softly. His voice was warm, like a gentle breeze. I smiled back, even though I told myself not to. "Good morning, Ethan," I replied, then quickly looked away. I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want to care. But day after day, it got harder. His drawings were beautiful, full of feeling. He painted the sea, the trees, the sky, always with soft colors that made me pause. One day, I stopped by his easel. "This is amazing," I said, pointing to his painting of a sunset. He blushed. "Thank you, I love your classes. You make art feel alive." My face felt warm. I nodded and walked away, my heart beating too fast. Weeks passed, and I couldn't stop thinking about him. I felt guilty. He was my student. This was wrong. I tried to focus on teaching, colors, brushes, shapes, but my eyes always found Ethan. He listened when I spoke. He asked questions that showed he cared. One afternoon, after class, he stayed behind. "Miss Laura, can I help clean the brushes?" he asked. I wanted to say no, but his smile made me weak. "Sure," I said. We cleaned the brushes side by side, the room quiet except for the sound of water in the sink. "You love art, don't you?" he said. I nodded. "It's my escape. What about you?" He looked at me, his eyes bright. "It's how I say things I can't say out loud." My heart jumped. I changed the subject quickly. "You're doing great in class," he smiled. "Thanks to you." That night, I sat in my small apartment, staring at a blank canvas. I tried to paint, but all I could think about was Ethan, his smile, his voice, his paintings. I told myself, "Stop it, Laura, he's too young. He's your student. This is not okay." But my heart kept whispering his name. I felt like I was fighting a storm inside me. The next day, Ethan stayed after class again. He stood by my desk, holding his sketchbook. "Can I show you something?" he asked. I nodded, nervous. He opened the book and showed me a drawing of a woman sitting by a window, looking at the stars. The woman looked like me. "It's you," he said quietly. "I drew it last night." My breath stopped. The drawing was soft, full of care. "Ethan, this is beautiful, but I'm your teacher." He looked down. "I know, I feel something when I'm around you." My hands shook. "You can't say that," I said. "It's not right." He nodded. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you upset." He left the room, and I sat there, my heart racing. I felt like I was falling, and I didn't know how to stop. The next week, I tried to act normal. I smiled at the class, taught my lessons, and avoided Ethan's eyes. But I felt him watching me. I hated myself for wanting him too. One day, I went to the college cafe to get tea. Ethan was there, sitting alone with a sketchbook. He waved at me. "Miss Laura, want to sit?" I wanted to say no, but my feet moved toward him. We sat together, sipping tea. He asked about my life. "Do you live alone?" he said. I nodded. "Just me and my paintings." He smiled. "That sounds nice. I live alone too. I don't have many friends, but your class feels like home." My heart softened. "Ethan, we can't talk like this. I'm your teacher." He looked sad. "I know, I just like being near you." I stood up. "I have to go." But as I walked away, I wanted to stay. That night, I couldn't sleep. I walked around my apartment, my mind full of Ethan. I looked in the mirror and asked, "What's wrong with you, Laura? Why do you feel this way?" The answer was clear. I was lonely. My apartment was quiet. My phone never rang. No one waited for me at home. And Ethan was kind. He saw me. He made me feel alive again. But I knew it was wrong. I was his teacher. I had to be strong. The next day, Ethan stayed after class again. The room was empty, and the sunlight came through the window. "Miss Laura, I need to be honest," he said. His voice was soft but serious. "I think about you all the time. I know I'm your student, but I can't help it." I felt my heart break. "Ethan, please stop. This can't happen." "I'm too old for you. I'm your teacher." He stepped closer, not too close, but enough to make my heart race. "It doesn't feel wrong to me. You're kind. You're smart. You make me want to be better." I shook my head. "It's wrong to me," I said, but my voice was weak. I was lying. It didn't feel wrong. It felt like something I'd been missing for years. "I'm sorry," he said, and he left. I sat at my desk, my head in my hands. I felt like I was drowning. On Friday, it was raining. The class ended early because of the storm. The students left quickly, but Ethan stayed. He stood by the door, his jacket wet. "I don't want to make you sad," he said. "I just had to tell you how I feel." I looked at him, raindrops on his hair. "Ethan, this hurts me too. But we can't do this. It's not fair to either of us." He nodded slowly. "I'll stop talking about it, but I won't stop feeling it." He walked out into the rain, and I cried alone in the classroom. My heart was heavy, like the clouds outside. That night, I made tea and sat by my window. The rain tapped the glass like it was trying to talk to me. I thought about Ethan's drawings, his kind words, his quiet strength. I told myself, "You're not a young girl anymore, Laura. You're a teacher. Do your job." But my heart didn't care about rules. It wanted him. Before I go on, let me ask, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears my story gives me courage to share it. Please tell me in the comments. The next week, I tried to be strong. I walked into class with a fake smile. I taught about colors and light, but my mind was on Ethan. He sat in his usual spot, sketching quietly. He didn't smile like before. His eyes looked sad. I felt guilty. After class, he didn't stay. He just left with the others. I felt empty, like I'd lost something important. Days passed, and I avoided him. I stayed in the teacher's lounge longer. I left class early, but he was always there in my thoughts. One evening, I saw him outside the college, near the garden. He was sitting on a bench, drawing. I wanted to walk away, but I stopped. "Ethan," I said. He looked up, surprised. "Miss Laura." His voice was soft. "Can we talk?" I asked. He nodded. We sat on the bench, the air cool and quiet. "I'm sorry if I hurt you," I said. "This is hard for me too." He looked at me. "I don't want to hurt you either. I care about you." I took a deep breath. "Ethan, this can't happen now. You're my student." "It's not right." He nodded. "What if I wasn't your student? Would it be different?" I looked at the ground. "Maybe, but you are. We have to wait." He smiled a little. "I can wait." I stood up. "I need time to think," he said. "I'll be here." That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. My heart was loud. I felt scared, but alive. I didn't know what to do. The weeks went by slowly. Ethan and I didn't talk after class anymore. We looked at each other, but we kept our distance. He still came to every class, working hard on his art. I watched him help other students, sharing paint or giving kind words. He was a good person, not just a student. My feelings grew stronger, but I kept them locked inside. The last day of class came. I stood in front of my students, my heart heavy. I thanked them for their hard work. I gave each one a small note, saying they did well. They clapped and smiled. Ethan stayed after everyone left. He stood by my desk, holding his sketchbook. "It's over," he said. "I'm not your student anymore." I nodded. "Yes." My voice was small. "Can we talk now?" he asked. I looked at him, his eyes full of hope. "Not here," I said. "Maybe next week, at the cafe." He smiled. "Okay, I'll wait." A week later, I sat at the cafe in town. My hands were nervous, holding a cup of tea. I watched the door. Then Ethan walked in. He wore a simple jacket and a big smile. "Hi, Laura," he said. Not Miss Laura, just Laura. It felt strange but good. "Hi," I said back. We sat and talked. He told me about his new job at a local art store. "I sell paints and talk to artists all day," he said. "It's fun." I told him about my summer plans, how I wanted to visit my brother in the mountains. We laughed about small things like bad coffee and rainy days. It felt easy, like painting a simple picture. At the end, he said, "Can we meet again?" I paused. "Yes," I said. "I'd like that." And we did. We met the next week, then the week after. We walked in the park, sat by the river, watched old movies at the small theater. He was kind and patient. He didn't push me. He just listened. I liked that he was himself, not trying to be someone else. But I was still scared. I didn't tell my friends or family. I worried what they would say. "He's too young," they might think. She was his teacher. I asked myself, is this love or am I making a mistake? One evening, we sat by the river. The water sparkled under the sunset. Ethan looked at me. "Are you happy?" he asked. I thought for a moment. "Yes, but I'm scared too." He nodded. "I know I'm scared too, but I like being with you. It feels right." I smiled. "It feels right to me too." I told my best friend Clara about him. She was quiet at first. "He's younger," she said. "Does that bother you?" I shook my head. "Not anymore. He makes me feel alive." She hugged me. "Then be happy, Laura. You deserve it." Her words lifted a weight from my heart. One day, Ethan brought me a small painting. It was a picture of a woman painting under a tree. "It's you," he said. "You look happy here." I laughed. "It's perfect." We walked to the park and sat under that same tree. "I was afraid before," I said. "I thought this was wrong, but now I just want to live." He held my hand. "Me too. Let's live together, one day at a time." I rested my head on his shoulder. The world felt warm again. Now we take things slowly. We talk, laugh, and share small moments. Some days I still worry about what people think, but then I look at Ethan and I feel calm. He sees me, he cares, and I care about him too. Life doesn't always follow rules. Sometimes love comes when you don't expect it. Sometimes it's scary, but it's real. If you're listening, maybe you've felt this too. Love that feels wrong, but right at the same time. Be brave. Listen to your heart. It knows what you need. Thank you for hearing my story. It's full of real feelings, fear, hope, and love. If it touches you, please like, comment, and share. Tell me where you are listening from. More stories are coming soon.